Have you ever stepped into an old house and noticed something strange? A tiny iron door near the foundation, a mysterious little slot in the bathroom cabinet, or maybe even a lonely toilet sitting right in the basement. At first, these details might seem random or even a little creepy, but back in the day, they actually had a purpose. Clever, practical, and sometimes downright bizarre. You see, before modern technology transformed our homes, people relied on countless little inventions to make daily life easier. Some of them were brilliant, some were weird, and some, well, let's just say you wouldn't want them in your house today. In this video, we're going to take a journey into the past and explore 10 strange home features that have disappeared. We'll start with the more ordinary ones, and by the end, you'll see things so unusual, you'll wonder how people ever lived with them. So get ready, because the deeper we go, the stranger it gets. Let's start with something simple but clever. Before paved roads and sidewalks, most streets were muddy, dusty, and full of, you guessed it, horse manure. People wore boots, and those boots got filthy. So, homeowners installed small cast-iron fixtures near the front steps. These were called boot scrapers. They looked like little metal frames, and their only job was to let you scrape off mud and dirt before stepping into the house. It was a tiny invention, but it kept the inside of the home much cleaner. Today, we have sidewalks, doormats, and of course, no horses on the streets. So boot scrapers slowly disappeared. But if you visit a historic neighborhood, you might still see one, rusty, decorative, and forgotten, like a tiny monument to the messiness of the past. In the early 1900s, fresh milk was delivered to your doorstep every single morning. But instead of knocking or walking into the house, the milkman used a milk door. This was a small built-in door on the side of the house. It opened from both sides, one from the outside, one from the inside. The milkman would put full bottles inside, and the homeowner would collect them from the kitchen side. It was private, hygienic, and super convenient. But once refrigerators became common, people started buying milk in stores and keeping it for days. The milk door? No longer needed. Today, some houses still have these little doors, sealed shut or used for decoration, like a secret from a different time. Before we had electric refrigerators, people used ice boxes, insulated wooden cabinets that kept food cool using giant blocks of ice. And to get that ice into the kitchen, houses had a special ice door. Usually located at the back of the house, this small door let the iceman drop off a block of ice without entering the house. This was smart, clean, and efficient, especially in summer. The ice block would sit inside the ice box and slowly melt over the day, keeping food fresh. But as soon as modern fridges came along in the 1920s and 30s, ice delivery stopped. Today, those little doors are sealed or forgotten, but they remind us of how creative people had to be just to keep milk cold. Carrying baskets of dirty clothes down the stairs is annoying, even today. But in the early to mid-1900s, many houses had a clever feature, the laundry chute. It was a simple vertical shaft, usually in the bathroom or hallway. You'd toss your dirty clothes in, and they'd slide straight down into a basket in the laundry room or basement. No hauling heavy loads, no trips up and down the stairs, just drop and done. It was super convenient, but not without risks. Children could try to crawl inside, or toys could get stuck. Eventually, builders stopped including them in new homes, especially as laundry rooms moved to the same floor as bedrooms. Still, some homeowners love the idea and bring it back in custom homes today. Before the classic toggle switches we use today, houses had push-button light switches. They looked elegant. 2 little buttons on the wall, one to turn the light on and one to turn it off. For a time, they were the height of modern style. But in practice, they often stuck, wore out quickly, and sometimes even caused dangerous sparks. Eventually, safer toggle switches replaced them, and push buttons faded into history. Still, in old houses you can sometimes find them, and collectors love restoring these vintage switches for their nostalgic charm. Now, here's something clever. Imagine living in a big house where the kitchen is in the basement, but the dining room is upstairs. Carrying heavy trays of food would be exhausting. That's why many homes had dumbwaiters, small elevators with ropes and pulleys designed to move food and dishes between floors. They saved time, effort, and maybe even a few broken plates. Over time, as kitchens moved closer to dining areas and homes became smaller, dumbwaiters disappeared. But in old mansions, you can still find them sealed inside walls, like little hidden elevators to nowhere. By the way, if you've made it this far, it means you love exploring the hidden past just as much as we do. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because the next strange features are even wilder, and you don't want to miss them. In the 1960s and 70s, architects had a bold idea: the conversation pit. Picture a living room where the floor drops down into a sunken square or circle filled with built-in sofas around a low table. It was stylish, cozy, and designed to make social gatherings feel more intimate. People sat at eye level with each other, creating a sense of closeness. But there was a problem. They weren't safe. Guests often tripped, kids tumbled in, and accidents were common. By the 1980s, the trend was gone. Today, they're remembered as one of the most unusual interior design experiments of the 20th century. Imagine opening an old bathroom cabinet and noticing a tiny slit in the back. It wasn't a design mistake. It was a razor blade disposal slot. Back in the mid-1900s, men used double-edged safety razors every day. And when the blades got dull, they needed a safe way to get rid of them. So, instead of tossing sharp metal in the trash, they'd slide the blades into that little slot. Where did they go? Straight into the empty space inside the wall. Out of sight, out of mind. The problem is, over decades, the walls of old houses filled up with thousands of rusty blades. Even today, during renovations, people open up walls and discover piles of old razors waiting inside. Creepy, right? One of the earliest electrical systems in American homes was called knob and tube wiring. From the 1880s to the 1930s, single copper wires ran through ceramic tubes and were held in place by porcelain knobs. At the time, it was revolutionary. Electricity brought light into every room. But there was a catch. This system had no grounding. The wire's insulation became brittle, and it could easily spark fires. Today, it's considered a serious hazard. In fact, many insurance companies won't cover a house if it still has knob and tube wiring. It's a reminder that what was once cutting edge can quickly turn into a danger. And finally, the strangest of them all, the Pittsburgh potty. In old homes around Pittsburgh, basements often had a single lonely toilet sitting right in the open. No walls, no stall, no privacy. Just a porcelain throne in the middle of a concrete basement. Why? It was built for steelworkers and miners. After a long, dirty shift, they'd come home, head straight to the basement, wash up, and use this toilet before going into the main house. It kept the living spaces clean, but by today's standards, it looks shocking and bizarre. Some of these toilets are still there, and homeowners now either remove them or build walls around them. But when you see one uncovered, it's truly one of the weirdest home features ever. From boot scrapers to razor blade slots, these features remind us how differently people once lived. Some ideas were brilliant, some were strange, and some were just plain creepy. Which of these shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want more forgotten stories from the past, don't forget to subscribe, because there's so much more to uncover.